There has never been a rule that you have to change it every day, or you have to change it once a week or once a month. But frequently, most collectives I know change it for the puja. And what do you do with the sari after that? We send for dry cleaning, and we can use it back. And there is a question, also they say, if you have a sari for Srimatiji's lotus feet, can you use it onto her chair? Or use, so usually we don't. What's for the feet, we don't put up there anymore. So most collectives will do the beautiful, elaborate sari, the more exclusive ones, they put on Srimatiji's chair. Because it's equivalent to Srimatiji wearing it. It's touching her. Then the ones for the lotus feet is a simpler one, and the ones that is for the decoration behind is frequently a simpler one. And the one that is for Srimatiji's lotus, for the chair, for her throne, is like touching Srimatiji. That should be a pure sari, whether it's a silk sari or it is a cotton sari, but pure. For decoration, not all collectives can afford to use pure silk, so they might use cotton, they might even use art silk. Everybody knows what's art silk, yes? At first I thought it was artistic, but actually art silk is a short form for artificial silk, which means it's not pure silk. Yeah? So for Srimatiji, for the chair especially, try to avoid. If silk sari is too expensive, buy cotton sari. Yeah? Do leaves on kumbha have to be in odd or even numbers? When we first learn, we say put 4 leaves. So that's an even number. Then later on, we say put 5 leaves or 7 leaves. So as we go along, we learn. But I feel that don't have to be strict. The person who brought the leaves might have brought only 4 leaves. Does it mean we cannot use it? Protocol is not strict rules. Do what is best. If we don't have the best, second best. Okay? What is the reason to not sing Swagata Agata on regular collective day? There is no reason. If you want to sing it every day, it's fine. If you want to sing it at home in your morning meditation, it is fine, if you have the time. There is no restriction to say, don't. But there is, in Kabbalah at least, I see the difference. When it's a puja, we sing Swagata Agata to invite Srimatiji. But when it is a havan, it's a clearing session, they don't sing Swagata Agata. I never asked the reason, but I noticed when it was a clearing session, they didn't. But if it is your main collective and you want to sing Swagata Agata to welcome Srimatiji, there's no rule to say you cannot. Okay? Besides the kumbha, which is placed near altar, do we need to place coconuts at every corner in center on collective days? No rule. We place coconuts based on vibrations. If the collective has people falling sick all the time, having problems at time, we place coconuts. If it's a new program, we might have seekers coming from different things, place coconuts. But it's not a must that every session you have to put coconuts all over. Same with our house. We put coconuts when it is necessary. It's not every day, every week we have to put in the 4 corners and all. There's no rule like that. Based on vibrations. And if you put the coconuts and they start cracking very fast, change. But if you put for 1 week, nothing. You leave it, I leave it even for 1 month, nothing. then don't repeat. The vibrations are okay. There's no negativity there. But for Shumatiji, pardon?
Not necessarily 7 days.
No, not necessarily 7 days. Yeah. Right way to do Aunty. Which side do we start from? That also, some people start from this side, some start from that side. But when I've done like Aunty to Shumatiji when she was present, I was taught in Kabbalah that we right hand holding, left hand here, we start on this side. Yeah, we start on this side. And nowadays also people ask how many times. There's a difference also. If you watch, they say we watch TV and we saw puja, and sometimes Shumatiji is sitting there and they do only 2 times, sometimes 3 times, 1.5 times. That's because when Shumatiji is present, she actually signals in her own very lightly. She doesn't say stop, but she will just maybe like this, or she must do not, it's enough. But if Shumatiji is not here with us, she's here with us, but she's not able to tell us when to stop. For me personally, I do what Sharada did, 7 times. I do 7 times. But there are people who will do 3 times. I've seen 3.5 times. That is for them personally what they want to do. But I have this feeling is because we do it for ourselves 7 times. When we do Aunty to Shumatiji, all the deities are within her as well. Some will do quietly. For me, inside, every time I do, it's Sri Ganesha. Sri Brahma Deva Saraswati. I'm worshiping all the deities within Shumatiji until the Saraswara. Nobody said we have to do that. There is no article, but that's how I feel. If you feel, you could. If not, just do with the heart. That's also okay. Yes? Then, how do we clean Shumatiji's photos? The lotus feet of Paduka. Always with the right hand. And for the photo, we were taught in the beginning, you take cotton wool or a towel, use rose water and circular movement if we can. Yes? To wipe. Same. With the lotus feet, again, it is with this motion. Any questions from them? For the Paduka, it's a little bit different because it is smaller. You still can, but it's always with the right hand, and the left hand is kept behind. Why do we bow down during the last verse of Sabako Dua Dena? That is not a must. But if you look at the meaning of the last verse, the last 2 lines of it, we just say, Shumatiji, if you want us to do anything, please ask us. That's why we say, please ask us. That's the meaning of the last sentence. Look at the meaning, because the bhajans actually, sometimes when I don't sing, or I sing only the first line, the second line I'm actually looking at the meaning of the song. Because I don't speak Marathi or Hindi or Sanskrit, but it is important to understand what we are singing. So if you look at the Aunty, that's the reason why some of us are already doing this. But it's not a must. It was never taught to us. It's individual. So some see others doing this, and why do you do it? Okay? Can Shumatiji's sari be reused, and how about using sari that was placed for lotus feet again on the chair? I would say just now, for the lotus feet, keep it for the lotus feet, for the chair, but you definitely can reuse. Keep the cupboard separate. After dry cleaning, if it's cotton sari, just wash. A yogi can take home and wash and bring back, iron it nicely and keep. Yeah? During 9 days of Navaratri, do we need to change the sari every day? Not necessary. If you want to, okay. There was one yogi who said, Shumadaji is my mother. My wife would change her sari every day. So if you want to do it, it's fine. But there was never a regulation that 9 days of Navaratri, every day you have to change. Is it necessary to end the Havan before sunset? Long ago we did Havan any time, especially in the Bangsa ashram. We start collecting at 7:30, we do the Havan, so it's already dark. But later on, we find that, I'm talking about experience of once in Perth. What happened was, Havan was done, they have big land. When Havan was done, and the children were playing. They were playing all over the place. And after the Havan was finished, they found that a few of the children became funny. And what happened is this, they said, as we are doing the Havan, we're drawing all the negativity to the fire to be burned. But on the way of negativity coming to the fire, they attacked the children first. These children were around. They were not nearby. And we all know the negativities are active more at night than in the daytime. So if possible, do the Havan early. But if the collective cannot make it, then you've got no choice. Do it later. But if possible, you can do it earlier. Again, not a rule. I would say that I'm the culprit. The one that you all follow about the Havan was when I was asked to write down so that every center in Malaysia follows. Who am I to write down something like this? So I told this in Kajan last week also. So what I did was, I wrote to India, Uncle Naukuka, to ask, what is the protocol for Havan? Now, no reply. I wrote to our big brothers in Australia, because Australia always treated Malaysia as their brother. No reply. I wrote to Canberra, and eventually I got. And this one was something that this yogi had taken from India, shown to Shumadaji and asked, Shumadaji, can we follow this? And she said, yes. It's not we must follow. Can we follow? See the difference? Can we follow the protocol or must we follow? And the lady who passed it to me from Switzerland, she was working in the castle a lot, and she told me, Katie, whatever it is, keep things simple. So in doing the Havan, if you follow that protocol, it is very long and a lot of restrictions. It's not necessary to follow everything there. Whatever you feel is to make it better. Like for example, I totally agree. Last time we had the Havan mix. Anything we do, when we throw in negativities, also we throw the same thing. But here, its advice is, when we are throwing negativities, it should be black. Black soya bean, black sesame, black pepper for negativity. And I totally feel that this is something we learn. It's not that anything that is new, we say we don't want to do. But that is something that is actually very good, because black actually attracts negativity. So to use this black ones to throw when we are saying throwing away negativities, I think it is something good, so our collective uses that. But the things that every time it has to be new bricks, our staircase started having bricks lining up all along the side. We could start building house. And it became quite an expense because each brick is how expensive. So in the end, we say no. They built the Havan Kun and we use that. So modify, simplify. Yes? So, while throwing negativities, do we need to include Om? Why? The doctors who came the last time said don't use Om when throwing negativity because it gives the negativity more power. But when we were in Kabbalah, when negativities were thrown in, we still say Om Swaha. So, do we say Om or we don't say Om? Because the doctors say they learned it from Washi Hospital. So in our collective, at one time we stopped using Om, but now we are using Om again. So there is no fixed rule, I would say. A lot of protocol is not fixed rule. It's what is practiced in each different state can be a little bit different. So if you feel that using Om and after that vibrations are good, use the Om. If you feel that without using Om and you throw negativity, it becomes better, then don't use the Om. Okay? Is there any protocol on who's supposed to light the fire or sit in front of the Havan Kun? Sit in front of the Havan Kun, that's very easy. Anyone who is left-sided, right-sided people shouldn't be at the fire. Frequently we ask children not to be there because the fire actually makes them hyperactive. But they shouldn't be running outside. Okay? But who is to light the fire? Yes. There are occasions when they say, traditionally in the Indian homes, the mother is the one who lights the fire. Frequently they say it's a married lady. What happens if there is no married lady in the house? Can the man light the fire? Of course. So this thing about married women and non-married women, there is no strict rule to say that married women whose husbands are surviving. It comes to yogis splitting words to say, how come married woman, this lady is a widow and she's not allowed to do. She's still a married woman even if she is a widow. How do you explain her children and grandchildren if she's not married? How do you explain that? So in Sahaja Yoga, there is no widowhood. Okay? If you're married already, you are a married woman. Whether you're divorced or your husband passed away, same. It's a married woman. So to light the fire, they say, if possible, it's a luxury. A married woman is the luxury. That's why we offer food. It's usually the luxury who offers food. Light the fire is usually the luxury who does it. But it doesn't mean that other people cannot do. See the difference? It doesn't mean cannot do. Like even when we say decorating Shrimati's lotus feet. So this I have always seen ladies doing it. The men don't. But I've seen the men washing Shrimati's lotus feet. At one time, Puja, all the leaders came forward and washed Shrimati's lotus feet. But decorative, when that's finished, it's ladies who are doing it. And frequently they announce married ladies. Okay? Now, when it comes to like sitting here for the washing of lotus feet, people also ask, should we use Shrimati's photograph that is like sealed? the lotus feet, or should we wash the paduka? Feel the vibrations. Long ago, we used to wash the photo. And I even teach the children, see where Shrimatiji's sari is. Now this would be a very difficult photo to wash because they'll be washing the sari as well. So a photograph where Shrimatiji's sari is higher and her feet are lower, can wash. Then we have the paduka. We never say, ask children to come forward to wash paduka. Always wash lotus feet. But I find out that even in India, what they are doing is, they no more, not say no more, that's difficult. Many occasions, they wash the paduka, referring to it as the lotus feet. But for me, I find the vibrations different when you're washing the photo of the lotus feet and washing the paduka. It's same if you have a grandmother, you wash her shoes or you wash her feet. Which shows more devotion? Washing her feet. So I found vibrations stronger, better when we wash the photograph of Shrimatiji's lotus feet. But again, people take it as which is more convenient. So it's also up to the collective. Types of havans and difference. Okay, one type of havan is with the fire. Okay, if it's indoors here and in KL also, we nowadays don't have the luxury of having a big garden outside. So we have, and then everybody gets smoked. You go home, the clothes, hair, everything is smoked. You have no choice. But you can limit the size of the fire. Then there is also one that we call the candle. But it is not advisable for a big collective to do a candle havan. It's not, the fire is not strong enough to burn the negativities. And if it's a candle havan, you don't offer the havan mix. You are offering everything symbolically. So it might not be the best. But if it's in a house or just 5 people, okay, have. Or when we have like with MOJ and we go to a hotel, I feel the vibrations very bad. What do? We got no choice. We cannot put a fire instead of the smoke, the fire alarm and all. So we do a candle havan, which is better than nothing. But I would suggest that if it's a big collective, do you use a fire here? Fire, smoke fire, and you get a lot of smoke. You open the windows, you have the exhaust. It works well. Ours, the exhaust is not so good. And I'm very sorry, I put my ears, but when it's smoking like that, worse than the haze, I wear a mask. Okay, so as far as I know, 2 types of havan, the candle and the one with the fire. Do you know any other type? No, this is 2. Puja. Which one of these should be washed during puja? Glass frame, lotus feet, photograph of or the paduka. I already explained that. What is meant by married women? Why are only married women allowed to offer prasad? As I said, married women are the Lakshmis. If you have many married women, why not? But you see, offering prasad, I have seen in Kabbalah frequently, the young Yuva boys are serving Shrimati a meal. When we offer prasad, isn't it saying we are offering Shrimati food? So it's not strictly only married women. If you have married women, they are the Lakshmis of the collective. It's auspicious. But if you don't have, somebody else wants to offer the prasad, it's okay. And I already explained to you about married women. And also offering OT. This I asked because many people, some of the ladies were a little bit upset. They said, all the time offer OT, only married women. All the ones who are widows and divorcees are not allowed to offer. And why such a small collective? I don't know, in KL, suddenly they have like 7 married ladies offer OT. In international pujas, I've not seen this. I've only seen 7 married ladies holding up the sari when Srimati's lotus feet is decorated. I've not seen, so this is taught by somebody from India who said 7 ladies like this to offer OT. I have personally offered OT to Srimati alone. Only one person. One big tray, everything was put onto that tray. They helped me, I went on the stage, I offered to Srimati, and of course she was sitting down, so when I offered, I couldn't carry the tray up. It was too heavy. But see, that is OT can be offered by one person. It's not a must, 7 people. And if small collective, if they want more people to join in, 3 people, why not? And why do we have to offer the OT, one item, 7 people in KL? I don't question, but I've not seen this done in India or in Kerala, because we have 7 people and everyone offer one item. Fruits. Each one offer one different fruit. After that, rice. Everybody offer rice. Everybody offers the sireh with the turmeric and all that. Is it possible for the tray? And if you do have 7 people, can 7 people offer it together? I have not seen a protocol of how to do the OT.
Aunty has seen it in Ghana, 7 ladies.
7 ladies.
Like what you did in KL.
You did in KL. Then it must be later, because I used to go to Ganapatipule for many, many years continuously. Then later we didn't go. And I was in US when I did the OT, just one. But I have seen even those early days, they bring something and put to Srimati and she will hold like this. And I've seen men giving her the coconut. So is it only ladies, only married ladies? Maybe the video I saw was different. But I felt that was part of OT. Because otherwise, during a puja, at the end of puja, why offer Srimati a coconut? It was done by a man. So this thing about married women and making everybody upset, don't worry. Married women, if possible, if not, others can take part. Yes?
Sorry, so the OT should be done by 7 women or 1 person, or the proper way?
Proper way, that's why I said, I have not seen 7 ladies doing it, but Cheng Wei said she has seen in Ganapatipule. But I was the person who experienced it personally, and I was the only one doing one tray. Maybe that is because later on they didn't want Srimati to sit too long. So it's just everything on one tray. Because even the Maha Mantras, we sometimes only say the last one. When we say the Aunty, the final Aunty, Sahaja, when Srimati at the end, they didn't want to trouble her too long, we say the first verse and then Uncle Lantika did, and everybody starts singing the last verse. We skip the other verses. But that's a reason for it. The love for the mother and not want her to sit too long. So, why 7 ladies? Why not 7 ladies? Okay. Can you explain to us more on OT offering? Why do we do and why only women? OT is something that is very new for me. When for many years we didn't do OT, if we are in international puja and they ask one Malaysian to come in, then we had. And as far as I know, in Malaysia, maybe I was the only one who did OT once, and I was alone. Then it is frequently offered, like say Sri Krishna Puja. Frequently they say they don't offer. OT is offered to the ladies. If you look at it, the offerings has got bangles, a sari, blouse piece, besides the other things. So for puja to a deity like Lakshmi, you offer. Other guru, Shrimati Guru, they offer. But they don't offer. But I find that in KL, slowly we started offering OT every puja. I don't know, because as I know, OT I do not know much about it, because from the days when I was following very strictly a lot, we never did OT in Malaysia. Only lately.
Is it only do daily?
Daily.
Yes, yeah, only do
Daily puja.
So, several ladies holding the sari, is it part of OT?
7 ladies holding the sari. I don't know, Chen Hui. Were they holding sari as well, offering OT?
OT, one by one.
But holding the sari was when they were decorating.
So that is when Srimati transformed herself into a lady, so she needs to be covered by married lady.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
But OT, because if they are holding the sari, they can't offer anything.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's just ladies. So now it says that, I think there is one question, whether to cover the saswara or not to cover. There's also different views. We were up, standing by the side of the stage. Srimati is coming already, and we were to offer we were to Aunty Srimati. One yogi said, please cover. So we cover. Another one had said, no, that's following the church. Not necessary. But if we wear the sari, we take the palu and cover up to the shoulder. He says, that's enough. Just when Srimati was coming in, another pujabi came and said, cover the head. So, I feel there is no fixed rule that was saying what we should do. But when I asked Dr. Madurai, she said there was no rule, but once she went into Srimati's room for something, and she took her palu and cover, and she went to Srimati. And Srimati asked, after talking to her, said, you cover? Says, did your mother-in-law tell you to do that? She says, no, I just felt that I wanted to do this. She says, very good. She said, very good. So it's up to you. Do you want to cover or you don't cover? But one thing I learned, many ladies sitting here wearing dupatta, wearing Punjabi suit. We learned from early days in Sahaja Yoga, when humanity is with us for the program, we should wear sari. It says that Punjabi suit is a convenience because we were traveling a lot. But the Punjabi suit is not complete if we don't have the dupatta. It's only complete with the dupatta. And the dupatta is supposed to be here for chastity to come. So try. I'm Chinese, but when I wear dupatta, I make sure When I wear Punjabi, I make sure I have dupatta. And very nicely, Srimati comes to Singapore airport, we go and meet her. She goes to the washroom, we follow her. And she will say, casually, she will teach you things. I say, oh, you see, the Indian attire is very useful. You see, a sari from the palu, the ladies are using it, they tuck it here when they are working, and when they wash their hands, very conveniently they wipe it also, you know. And when it's very hot, they put it over their head. We were in one place in Delhi, and this Nisamuddin camp, and they were doing ajan kawanis, very nice, very helpful. The sun started coming, and then you see, and one by one, all the dupattas, all the palus come. And she says, see, it's very practical. You cover from the sun. Because when the sun is on the Sahasrara, it's very bad because our brain is made out of fat. So you don't want that to melt. In Malaysia, we go out in the sun, we don't wear hats. We are so proud we don't wear thick umbrella. So, cover, yes? So, when we are doing the arti, when do you want to cover or not cover? It's up to you. There is no rule to say you must or you shouldn't, depending who is the pujari at that time. Let's see. Prasad for Srimati, is there any restrictions? And what is the right way of serving fruits? Okay, Prasad for Srimati, no restrictions. If possible, don't serve her beef. I've cooked for Srimati many years, many times. In Malaysia, in Kabela, in India once, in Istanbul, in Australia, in the US. I never served her beef, but I've served Srimati, especially in Malaysia, chicken. In Kabela, turkey, but in Malaysia it's chicken, duck, fish, prawns, pork, and a variety of vegetables. Fruits, all fruits, Srimati. Except once I asked, after many years, I asked Srimati, there's one fruit in Malaysia, we call it the king of fruits. It's very strong flavor, very sweet fruit, never a sour fruit, but it's not juicy, it has a very strong smell. I said, would you like to try it? If you bring, I will try. Uncle, I will try many times trying to get the best. You want to serve Srimati, it must be when the durian is in good season and very good fruit. We never serve Srimati. After that I was thinking, yeah, what happens if she didn't like the food? Because sometimes Srimati is in the room, sometimes outside in the sitting room. How to get rid of that smell if she doesn't like it? You see? So, never. But always we serve Srimati sweet fruits. No citrus fruits. I tried once in Singapore. It was Chinese New Year and Srimati was in transit and I offered very, very sweet mandarin oranges. She says, no thank you. I said, Srimati, they're very sweet. Second time she says, no thank you. Citrus fruits we don't offer at home. We don't offer during puja. And you ask, how do you offer fruit to Srimati? If Srimati was sitting here, will you offer her the fruits like this? No, huh? You will cut the fruit. Offer Srimati the fruit cut. Even when it is puja time, it is a lot to cut. Grapes are easy. You take the bunch of grapes and you scissors, you snip two, so that everybody gets a chance. But if it's a mango, it is a watermelon, big fruits, even apples, cut. Cut the fruits. Serve Srimati the fruit that she is able to eat it straight away. If you are saying that I put the fruit there to be vibrated and after that we share, that is different. But if you are serving Shri Mataji the fruit, and if you have plates, I don't know your place here, but you have a plate of fruit, a prasad up there, which is correct. Because where Shri Mataji is sitting, on the right side is the water, and if you offer her some sweets, some chana, and tidbits, then that's on her right side, which is correct. So maybe you put this one is to vibrate. But I've seen after puja, people take one mango, happily put in the bag and go home. But that is not. Prasad is food that we share among ourselves. You take home one whole thing by yourself, it's not. Yeah? So cut. Let's see. So there is no restriction. Offer Shri Mataji. Shri Mataji is not vegetarian. By now I said, I've cooked for her. She's not vegetarian. But I've heard that when Shri Mataji goes to countries where the people are very right-sided, then she eats more to balance the people. She will have more fruits and vegetables and more carbohydrate and very little protein, very little meat. She eats to balance. But when she was in Malaysia, everything. I made a mistake once making big prawns and I offered to her. And she says, how do I eat this? So I said, Shri Mataji, can I peel them for you? The Australian yogis were there, eyes picking. She says, yes. So I happily peeled the prawns and put it in front of Adi Shakti. And she ate. And normally we do not touch the food like that to offer to Shri Mataji. We would have peeled, shelled the prawns, everything, and then only offer. Subsequently, of course, I learned. This was the first year when we were serving Shri Mataji when she came to Malaysia. So no restriction. When you have puja, are you having vegetarian food? There are people who are vegetarian. There are people who are not vegetarian. Eating veg or eating non-veg does not make us ascend higher or not. It doesn't. We should eat based on our own vibrations. If I'm very right-sided, I will decide to eat less meat and more carbo and fruits and vegetables. But if left-sided, then I would eat a little bit more meat. But if I'm a vegetarian, then if I'm left-sided, I don't eat meat, but I will eat more of dal and the beans, legumes, the soya to help. Okay? So it's not, don't look up to people who are vegetarian, don't look down on people who are vegetarian. It is their choice, some people because of health, but in Sahaja, there is no restriction. Okay? Can we use a shawl to place for lotus feet, or is it compulsory to have a sari? It can be a shawl. It can be a sari, no problem. In fact, in Malaysia, we are very fortunate. The last Sri Ganesha Puja in Kabela, after decorating of Shri Mataji's lotus feet and everything, a white shawl was put and Shri Mataji's feet was on it. And when Shri Mataji left us, Uncle Ivan and I went to Kabela. And the lady who is in charge of Shri Mataji's laundry had said, it's very good, you came from Malaysia. This is the last shawl from the Ganesha Puja. Take it back to your country. So that is one shawl. You can see kumkum. Kumkum has got turmeric, isn't it? So you see after some time, it also looks red, but it also looks like turmeric color. And somebody will say, oh, Aunty Kitty brought back and see Shumati's footprint. Actually, you don't see her footprint, but you can see that she had stepped on it, and the stain of the kumkum is on that. And it's very precious. I keep it under lock and key. We don't want everybody to touch it. In fact, I was going to say I will wear gloves. And the yogis were saying, no, Aunty. If one person is opening it for vibrations and keeping it, it's fine. Not everybody to touch. But to use a plastic glove and touch Mataji's shawl is also not right. So from that I know you can put a shawl, because a shawl was used. But make sure it is either wool or cotton shawl, natural. For Shumati's lotus feet, make sure it is natural. How to mix the offering rice, kumkum and turmeric? Yes. The rice is raw, you mix it with kumkum and turmeric and to offer. Is it compulsory to cover the saswara in front of Shumatiji? Why? Aunty and others. I've already explained that. Are we allowed to take photographs when puja is still going on? No. Never. Whether it's international puja or our own, do not do that. That is really against protocol. We only do it after the aarti has finished. Then we can take photograph. Yeah, that early days we were told, somebody brings out the camera, the others will say, during the puja don't do. Why do we leave way in the middle during collective or puja? Is it to give way to Shumatiji? This one, I think it means that when you sit, why do you leave a center path? Is it? Is that what the question is? No. It is, I think, when we leave a center, it's in case people have to come forward, they don't have to weave through everybody and disturb for practical purpose. But we do try, whenever possible, that if you're going to invite Shumataji in like that at pujas, that you don't leave all the slippers and shoes where she is coming through. So at international pujas, wherever possible, the path that Shumataji is coming in, you don't see any shoes or slippers. All the Yuva boys, especially the Indian Yuva boys, they don't care who's, you cannot find, never mind, they just take a shovel it all the way. After the puja, you can go and start looking, it's in a whole heap, hidden somewhere. Because it's not auspicious to put the shoes there. Yeah? Does Sri Mataji have any allergies? Flower, can we include fern and garlands? As far as I know, Sri Mataji has no allergies, but for garland, I have learned that for garland, we should use flowers that have a sasrara, meaning flowers that is like center and all coming symmetrical. The orchid is not. So orchids have been used in her room. Orchids have been given to her as bouquets, but do not use orchids for garland. Fern, I'm not sure, because I have not seen fern being used in a garland, and she's not allergic. But we know that even Shumataji's room, Sasipi is allergic to sunflowers, so we don't use. Like this beautiful lady, we always cut the pollen here because it stains, that one. Sasipi is allergic to that, or he doesn't like the smell. So for her room, then we try to accommodate. But I don't know of any allergies, Shumataji. But you know what? When Shumataji was in Malaysia, when she was staying in our Uncle Ivan asked Shumataji in December, Shumataji, please come to Malaysia. Yes, I'm coming. He says, would you like to stay in a hotel or you want to stay? Would you like to stay in our house? In your house. So we prepared a house for Shumataji. So every morning when serving, we had a lot of flowers, and one day Yogini brought a whole lot of jasmine. So I took a very nice silver container, I put the jasmine, and I brought a breakfast tray to Shumanji. Do you know what she did to the flowers? She took the tray, she was breathing in. She was breathing in the fragrance, jasmine. Another time, I had on the tray, I put hibiscus. And Shumanji, she's always like, sometimes we forget that this is the Adi Shakti, you know. And she says, oh, you know this flower? This is Ganesha's flower. Very auspicious. Very good that you brought to me in the morning. So very nice. You have Ganesha's flower here. So flowers from a garden. When we didn't have to buy flowers because we have flowers from the garden. So you can use, but be careful of some flowers in the garden, poisonous flowers. The oleander, alamander, they are poisonous, the yellow flower. Then don't use. Poisonous flowers don't use. But as far as I know, she had no allergies. And once Uncle Ivan came and told, all the leaders were having meeting in Canberra, and was brought a whole tray of jasmine and champaka. You know champaka? Longish petal, almost like a ivory color. Very fragrant as well. And Shumanji was telling all the leaders, these flowers are very good for the right side. So all they passed the tray around, everybody take some, put it into their pockets. So we learn, you know, and Shumanji. Tulasi is very good. Tulasi is very good. Tulasi is especially for the visually. Yeah? Pardon? Baby spread. The white small little flower, to offer or use it as decoration in the garland. I don't know, maybe. Only thing is, when we were early days in Sahaja Yoga, we were told, don't offer carnation and marigold. But later on, one year, when we were in Galapati Pule, the front load of marigold garlands were bought. And everybody started buying that, and we did offer the Shumanji on, because Galapati Pule, the stage is quite high, we just take the garland and we just walk by and put it at the stage. But it is offering to Shumanji, marigold. And then carnation, later on, we found that carnation, it is okay. But still, because once it was not to be used, if I have a choice, I will not offer carnation. If I have a choice, I will not offer marigold. Okay? Sorry?
The white flower.
The style is very good.
It has sap,
Like milk here.
milk. You're asking whether we can use it for the garland? I will not advise it because you know why? You must remember when we make a garland, it is to put around Shumanji. And if the sap, it will stain her sari, I will not use. Just think like that. Sometimes protocol, we just use our love for Shumanji, and we have not heard of such a protocol, but we will not. Like say, I was teaching the children last time washing lotus feet. We said, this is the photograph, here is the lotus feet, you pour the water over here, don't wet Shumanji's sari. I mean, the children will say, that's a photograph. But the thing is, symbolically, that's her feet and that's her sari. If possible, I will teach the children, don't. In fact, last time when the children were young, they were playing all over the place. before the puja, I said, all the children, go and wash your hands. They were eating, they were touching, don't know what. And they are coming here and they're washing Shumatiji's lotus feet. Send all of them. But now, we are sitting at the back. It's up to the younger ones to do that. If they ask, we will say, that's the better. Even adults, if today you know you're going to offer roti, today you know that this puja you're going to do something, after you've done all the jobs, before sitting down to get ready, should wash our hands. But what I didn't agree was, yogis come in and wash their feet and make the whole bathroom wet. That is a Hindu and a Muslim practice that they feel they have to clean. In Sahaja, you know, the Muslim have to go and clean everything, and Srimati explained, said that the cleaning is not the outside, it's cleaning the chakras before we come for a puja. That kind of cleaning in Sahaja. So you come from your house, you have taken your bath, you're wearing shoes, you didn't come barefooted. No need to make the whole bathroom wet. All the slippers are wet. No need. Because that's not Sahaja. If somebody questioned me, Aunty Katie, you go for collective, how come you wear socks? I said, I'm old, my feet can get cramped with the aircon. And she says, but usually in front of Srimati, we don't wear socks. I said, I still wear, especially in Kabbalah. 1 year, we were getting ready to dance, wearing baju kabaya, no, sarung kabaya. And Srimati was going to the washroom, and we stand like that, ask. She said, and she said, look at me and said, it must be very cold for you. Now, can you imagine you wear without socks? So it doesn't mean in front of Srimati we cannot wear socks. As long as my socks are clean and not stinking. Yeah? So sometimes there's no protocol that use a little bit of discretion. Then, is it true that only unmarried women should mix amrut? I've never heard of this. I've never heard. Amrut. In fact, when I was in Taiwan, they said, I have to cook the amrut. I said, huh? You have to cook the amrut. Oh, because you know why we were doing the seminar and puja havan up in the mountains. So all the ghee had coagulated. So how do you serve it? That's what she meant. When you cook it, they put on the stove and actually to melt it back again. But when I heard cooked amrut, I said, that's something new. So here it says, is Srimati fond of sweets? She takes sweets, she takes chocolate, she likes ice cream as well, and she takes desserts. And when she was in Malaysia, I heard that Srimati does not take too much sugar. There is a sugar called Splendor. Splendor. I use Splendor and I use my ice cream maker and I make chocolate ice cream for Srimati. And she enjoyed it. She says, very good idea making your own ice cream. So she takes ice cream. She takes different types of desserts as well. Can we eat or serve mushrooms? Very good question. There is one talk when Srimati said, yogis shouldn't eat mushrooms. It was in France. The French they were eating too much. Morning breakfast omelette with mushroom. Lunchtime, having soup, cream of mushroom soup. Dinner, they were having a mushroom. So, if we are left-sided, this we learn from Srimati. If we are left-sided, don't eat mushroom. Because mushroom grows from date, sawdust, from the date tree trunks. So don't take if you are left-sided. But Chinese food has mushroom. I wouldn't order a dish that is just only mushroom. But if it's steamed fish and some mushroom in it, okay. I have steamed fish for Shumatiji with slices of mushroom. She never said, I don't take. And in Kabela, one year, Shumatiji, the cook was making mushroom soup for Shumatiji every day when I was cooking there. So, a lot of things we have to use our discretion. It's not that you cannot eat. I was in Australia when we were all having pizza after the program, and one of the yogis ordered pizza with mushroom. Others were saying, why do you order mushroom? You shouldn't eat. He says, you don't eat, but I eat. And if he's right-sided and he wants to eat something with some mushroom, it's not. So, sometimes when Shumatiji tells something to one person, like once she told a young man, she says, I think you will look very nice with center parting. The next one, Shumatiji laughed because all the men came with center parting. But it was just for him. She didn't say every man should have center parting. She laughed. So sometimes be careful. So here it says, offering non-veg for Shumatiji and during Navaratri, is there any significance? Navaratri, non-Navaratri, we don't need to offer non-veg. You can offer non-veg, but it doesn't mean that you must offer non-veg or you must offer veg. There is no rule. If you are a vegetarian and you cook lovely vegetarian food, and during the puja you want to bring something very nice for Shumatiji that you cook and is vegetarian, fine. Another person who has cooked some nice food but is non-veg and offers the Shumatiji is fine. Okay? Clearance. Should food soaking water be replaced after a while? 10 to 15 minutes. Now this, I heard from a Russian yogi. He says, when I'm sick, I don't go and see the doctor. I said, what do you do? He says, I foot soak. And how does she do? She says, I foot soak. After 5-10 minutes, the water is no good. I take the water, I throw. I put new one, and I foot soak. Still no good, I throw, I make. Because she was sick. So she is clearing because she can feel a lot of negativity coming out, so she is clearing it like that. And that's good idea. But if you feel very negative and you feel your foot soaked and you're still feeling bad, okay, throw and replace the water. But don't say that I'm foot soaking and I just want to relax and I foot soak for 20-30 minutes, because whatever has gone out can come back. So foot soak, 10-15 minutes is maximum. Remove the water and that's it. But if you're not well, please repeat. And if the water, if you are left-sided and you use warm water and the water has become cold again, you can throw and put more warm water. Or if you're right-sided and you put some ice inside and the water has become warm again, throw away, use new water, put some more ice. You see, that is to balance ourselves. So it's not a rule. There's no rule like that. Do we recite mantras collectively or silently while foot soaking? Collective clearance. Collective clearance, you can do collectively reciting aloud. But if it's not a must, because different people come at different time. You might say 6:30 foot soaking until 7 o'clock. Somebody has already started 6:30 using the mantras. Others are coming. Do silently. Correct or not? So there is no fixed rule. But if today is a special clearing day, everybody is to come and collectively clear. I would suggest use the mantra collectively. But normal times, most of the time, people come in different times, silence. Can we meditate without disposing the water? Foot soak. I do that. Raise Kundalini Bandhan, foot soak. After foot soak finish, we have to, what do we have to do after a clearing technique? We must meditate. Any clearing method. After that, we must meditate. Why? Something negative comes out. Draw something positive inside to take the place. Don't leave a vacuum for negativity to be sucked in. So what I do, I foot soak finish. I bandhan the water. I shift it. I put the towel. I wipe my feet and put my feet still on the towel. I will meditate. After meditation finish, then I will raise Kundalini Bandhan. Finish. I take the water to dispose. If you feel you want to raise Kundalini Bandhan, take the water, go and pour, come back here, raise Kundalini Bandhan again, and sit down and meditate, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. Okay? So these things, you don't have an article where you just say must like this or must like that. A lot of Sahaj is not rule. The only rule that I know of in Sahaj is we must meditate. Even foot soak, even foot soak. It's not a must that you must foot soak. You should know it. We should know ourselves. If your job is very stressful, if you had a bad day, definitely it's better to foot soak. But somebody who is a housewife, meditate twice a day, hardly goes out anywhere, foot soaks whenever she feels negative. Is she wrong? Must she foot soak every day? It's not a must. Negativity there, we need to foot soak. Yeah? Do children need to foot soak? And how do we keep them focused during clearance? Children, I've seen from very young, what parents do is they have a small like swimming pool tub, put some salt water inside. They don't sit and foot soak. They sit down there, the whole body up to here, they are soaking. Their little liver is cooled down. To them, they may like playing a little bit. That is their foot soaking. As they grow bigger, by 3-4 years old, if they see the parents foot soaking, they will want a little pail and then sit down and foot soak as well. But don't expect them to be like old grandmothers. They are not, they are children. The fact that they are willing to sit and foot soak, even for 2 minutes. Children, when I do the children's program, I expect them to meditate only 2 minutes. We don't expect them to meditate for 10-15 minutes. They are children. And for children, when they decide to meditate, it's like us walking through the door. You only need a few seconds. That's all. That's all. And how do we keep them focused? I have no special technique. But when we do with the kids, many of them, some children don't do at home, but when everybody is raising Kundalini and Bandhan and clearing, this age, they all do training and do clearing, like the training and that clearing, they all do, because everybody is doing. Maybe at home, just one child, 2, they might not want to do. But it's good to do together. Can we shubit our husbands? Yes. And we can shubit our wives? Yes. The protocol here, we will advise, do not shubit your parents and grandparents. But they say, I can shubit his parents and he can shubit my parents.
Unfortunately, mine passed away.
Mine too, but They said you can, yes? So, can we shoe our children? Yes. How do we handle children in collective? What is the best way to teach them the protocols? Children, the only way to teach children protocol is that Shumataji is sitting here. Can we be silent just to respect her when the video is on? When Shumataji is talking, we should learn to sit down. Because here we don't have another room, correct? When we were when we have another room, and there are times, when I was much younger, we take the children upstairs in Bangsa, and we do a lot of programs with the children. They meditate, they clear, they do Aunty to Shumataji. I tell them stories of Sri Ganesha, of Sri Shiva, of different Dipavali, what does it mean, about Rama, Sita and all that. They have story, they can sing, we play games, we draw, we color. So many things you can do for their level. Meditation, their level. But if you don't have a room, it's difficult. Maybe you do it on a sacred day, maybe once a week or maybe once a month. Just Children's Day. Parents bring the children and do a program just for the children. Because protocol-wise, don't. For a child, a baby crawling around, is it wrong? No. And if the baby is crying, do you expect the parent to go over there and take the baby? Not necessary. Any uncle, auntie can take the child. And you just see where the chakras are. You can actually hold a child. I hold the child like this on my lap, and my hand is on the heart. Sometimes it's onto the liver. Hold the chakra that needs help for that child. Because all the uncles and aunties, you are like the parents for the kids. And the parents shouldn't feel bad, Yes. Then, running around, we should stop. We should stop. After collective, they need a little bit, energy after the collective. But during the collective, you just stop. But you also have to see, like in Malaysia, we also, in KL, a new couple, they are new, and they brought the children. The children do not know protocol. Parents are not aware of it. The child is running around like that. So in the beginning, if we stop the child, the parents will also stop. So in the beginning, it is disturbing, but we refrain from it. But later on, when they know us better, and they see the other children, so what I will do is, I go and praise the child. Say, wow, today very good. You didn't run around, huh? Very good. Come, Auntie, take you and give you a prasad. I want lollipop. I said, lollipop I bring for you next week, because prasad we don't have lollipop. But because I promised a lollipop, next week I really bring a lollipop for that child. So when we see good behavior, we praise. That's instead of scolding when they do something wrong.
Especially mother to teach children. Just when they see the parent, the mother,
Yeah.
suddenly we see that.
So uncles, aunties nearby can say, come, you sit with me. Just for 5 minutes they might be with you, then they move around again. Show love. With love, you can help the children to become better. Yeah? Can we have separate activities for children during regular collective days to keep them occupied? Some parents bring coloring books for the children, but I would discourage noisy toys because they keep on knocking. To them is something, reaction from an action. But coloring books, parents do bring. In Brisbane, I was very surprised. I was thinking, how come they come for the collective? All the kids have got a pillow. They go into the collective, all of them put a pillow and they're lying down. It was very strange, but the children were not disturbing. But I thought, strange, you know. Can Sri Mataji's photo be used as profile photos, pictures on social media? I don't agree with this, because when I receive a mail, like say, I receive WhatsApp from somebody, I expect to see that person's photo, not Sri Mataji's photo. But sometimes we forward rubbish, we forward jokes. Sri Mataji is not forwarding this. I feel don't use. If you don't want to use your photo, it's okay. Put a flower, put something else. But I feel not to use. Does anyone use Sri Mataji's photo? Better not. Yeah, social media. How do we keep new yogis warmly accepted? We can if the person who conducted the class will tell the collective that next week I'm going to bring the new people. They are joining for the first time. Who would like to come and join them? Sit beside them. Do you know our bhajan book is very confusing for new people? Certainly you say Marathi 25. They don't know the head or tail of the book. By the time they find Marathi 35, you have already sung half the song. And then they don't know you're repeating the first line, you're repeating the second line. You know, it's confusing. So if you have somebody who sit beside you and help them to see Marathi is in the front of the song, then you just very nicely and singing and just point that that's the line that you're going, and you're repeating, and then it goes to the chorus, and then come to the second verse. It is confusing if you are not used to singing. No? So it's good to have somebody, and somebody not like too many questions, but it's normal. Say, how did you come? Is it far away? Did you come with a yogi? You drove? That's possible because that is care and love. In case some new people come public transport and somebody is staying in the same housing area, why not? And Sri Mataji encouraged, at least yogis should carpool. And she was sitting in the car, she says, look, one person. It's very bad. Malaysia will have the biggest problem will be pollution. After she spoke that, then we had very bad pollution in 97, 98. So she says, at least yogis should carpool. So why not? So separate activities for children, if you don't have the room, is difficult. Yeah. Can Sri Mataji's photo? Okay, for us. How do we keep new yogis warmly accepted? Yes. We call a buddy system. Yeah, buddy system. Somebody even has suggested, come, we go and have tea tarik. Be careful. If you are a man and that's a lady, you know, they're thinking what you're trying to do. But if lady and lady is saying, we haven't had our dinner, but we are going to adjourn there and have some food. Would you like to join us? That's nice. They can say yes or they can say no. But that's nice, yeah? How do we grow stronger collectively? I think your collective is already very collective. That you are able to buy this place, collectively share the responsibility of paying for it. It's fully paid already. And this is good. And the fact that you can come together and grow together. You also have self-realization programs too, so that's good. And you are also going out to other nearby cities, isn't it? Going to Nilai and PD to do programs also. That's very good. The main thing is collectively, Uncle Ivan also saying, the collective becomes very strong if we open our hearts. So we say, how do we open our hearts? Open the hearts just means that don't judge each other. And I was telling the collective not collective, I saw a few people. I said, what it means is that be nice to each other. Don't criticize. I said, people might have 10 different things. And one thing is not good. Everybody picks on that one thing. Why don't we just look at what is good in that person? See? Instead, and actually Shumaniji has advised us, say, don't criticize and talk bad about each other. These are all our family, brothers and sisters. Whenever we can, we help each other. We don't talk bad about each other. Okay? That is how we go. And growing together is not just come for collective, hello, bye-bye, and go home. The collective is not strong like that. Organize activities. In fact, Shumaniji asked us also, she said, should organize picnics. Picnics. And Seremban, you're quite near to PD. I'm not saying every week, I'm not saying every month. But 1 year, if twice you organize, let's all, instead of everybody driving your car, let's hire the bus. In the bus, you can sing, you can laugh, you can talk. You get to mix with each other. Then go to PD, have a food soak, share food, picnic. Nice. Have functions like that. Or, like say, next year, do you know Malaysia is holding the International Puja? It would be very nice if you have artists here and you say that we would make some things to decorate the stage. Last time, when I was younger, we made table flowers, hibiscus as big as this. And because we use wire, we could compress all this and put it in the box and take to Cabana. And when we are there, what we do is, the box is there, we start opening up. It was like an instant garden. People start coming because we sleep in the pandal. Can I come and help? Yes, come. They join in and we show them how to open the flowers and they are used to decorate. Why not? Whenever we do something together, collective like that, it is bonding. Or somebody knows how to make collective gifts. Instead of buying gift to give to people who come for the puja, you don't have to say, if it is like 500 people, you have to make 500. We make together, if I make 10, I'll give 10 with me. And when I'm sitting there for the puja, the people I know up here, or I don't even know, and just say, after the puja, would you like a gift? This is, you can put a handmade. People appreciate. But the fact that you sit together and make these little gifts, you talk to each other, you go out, have some food, come back, continue, that is bonding. It makes the collective stronger. Yeah? So there are many ways you can do things like this. Okay? Any other question? Or something I didn't explain in detail?
Aunty, how do we retain all these newcomers? Because we do a lot of public programs. They come as a batch, like for example, we say 9 weeks class. They come and after that, we don't see them. And again, another new batch comes in. So how do we retain all those people who have already?
It's difficult because we also have this. And Australia also they had, and then they asked Shumaniji. When Shumaniji came, it was like 1,000 over people. And then they had to follow up, and after that they said, not even one day. And you know what Shumaniji said? It's okay. They all had their realization. It's not their time. So what we do is, we will give realization, we will do the programs to our best ability, and the rest we surrender to Shumaniji. If they stay, it's their good luck. It's their fate. If they don't stay, it is their luck. It's not their time. So don't feel bad, because when we were doing programs, some people were saying, wow, Shrimati came, we used the civic center. After that civic center, we had a hall that can take about 100 people. And people were coming for the programs and all that. And eventually, after that, the group starts dwindling and all that. And we have yogis who question, why do you spend so much money to rent a place when the people are not staying? We cannot equate the number of people staying to how much we spend. In fact, that group, even if only one stayed, that was like a gold nugget. And that was other state, but that gold nugget is Uncle Lam in Ipoh. Because he was working in Malaysia, and after that, he retired, he went back to Ipoh, and when we were doing program, he said, first he gave realization to his family. Then later on, when we were doing a small advertisement, like roadshow, says, can you put Ipoh also? So yes, put Ipoh. He said, can you all come and help? Okay, we went, Red Cross Center, we went and helped. So that is a nugget. And it's not easy to get a gold nugget, correct or not? So we cannot equate how many people stay. Even if none stay, we have done our best. Don't feel guilty. We did the best we could. It's their luck. Yeah? The only way I said you can help them to stay is by showing love and compassion. Don't group. Like then they come, they see, they are talking to them. That one talking that group, that one, I have nobody, I don't know anybody. And then the person who is the facilitator for that class will most probably sometimes be surrounded by other people asking something. These new people feel left out. Frequently they feel left out. Or we become too ritualistic. We expect too much. I know of one collective where they stopped somebody coming in for puja because was not dressed in Indian attire. If I'm Chinese, my husband is Chinese, and my family Chinese, traditional, can you imagine me after learning yoga for some time, and then I suddenly have to wear Indian clothes to go for the program? They will think, what is happening? Because when attire is concerned, Shrimati never specified we have to wear Indian attire. Most important is that we are well-groomed, decent, and chastity. And also later on I learned, Shrimati said, cover this. So at one time, you wear spaghetti stripe, yogis don't do that. Even when you're going to work, don't. If your attire is such, you have a jacket, okay. But don't expose, because this is your Sri Chakra and Lalita Chakra. And also, the knees, this is our Nabi. You want good family, you want good finance, Nabi, cover it. Even when you're coming to clean the ashram, you want to wear shorts, make sure they are Bermuda shorts. Because no matter what, this is Shrimati's house. Don't wear shorts up to here. Don't expose your knees. Okay? Hair must tie up. Vietnam very good, Hanoi. I said, wow, all the ladies with long hair, all tie up. She says, yes, I told them, if you like, you want to leave your hair long, okay, let negativity attack you. Don't attack me, because mine is tied. Because then somebody questioned, they say, but Shrimati's hair is not tied. And one year, one young girl asked me, Aunty Katie, why Shrimati, her hair she never tied? So I explained. Do you know how to explain this? Huh? Shrimati's hair, every strand of her hair is one weapon. Every strand of her hair is one weapon. She leaves it loose to attack and to defend us. We are not Shumadiji, so don't let your hand loose. Tie it up because negativities will come and attack. Yeah? Tie it up. Any other question?
Aunty, one more question. I've seen that in some place they haven't, after Avana, they offer all the fruits, flower. Even in Singapore, we have done like, even put curd also, curd, rice as well. Is there any difference of not, is it like you must do all this or it's like not necessary?
Because you know why? I've seen Havan in US, I've seen it in India, I've seen it in northern part India, central India, I've seen it in Australia, I've seen Havan in Turkey where they do it in the fireplace, in Taiwan up in the hill doing the fireplace. All the Havans are different. The main thing is vibrations. What we were throwing, all the negativities we were throwing, did it clear. If it cleared, whatever we were doing is right. If it does not clear, something is not the best. Do something else. Because if you want, when we did, it says that put all this into the fire, the fruits, but not, I've not heard of quote. Then later on somebody say, oh, we offer like prasad, sweets, different types of sweets, ladu and things like that. They put into the fire.
Yeah, that is something I saw for the first time in Malaysia, putting sweets in the haban.
Yeah.
But one of the old videos of from Vashi or not so, I have a very old video teaching the foreign yogis how to prepare havan and how to perform havan.
Black and white video.
No, it's color, but it's
Color.
somewhere in 80s, early 80s, where they were throwing all the
When
fruits.
Shumadiji was there.
Yes,
Yeah.
during that time.
Did they throw sweets inside?
No, no sweets. No. Sweets first, for the first time I saw in Malaysia actually.
Oh.
Somewhere I saw, I'm not sure. Penang.
Early days we didn't.
No, yeah.
But,
Indian rituals.
but, huh?
These Indian temples and all, they used to do it.
Yeah.
Really,
But I always tell that Sahaja Yoga is not Hinduism.
Yeah.
You see, Sahaja Yoga, you see, we recognize all the deities, the Hindu deities. We recognize Jesus. We recognize Buddha. We recognize Raja Janaka. We recognize so many, Nanak. So many. So Sahaja Yoga is a combination and teachings of all the different religions, and it is above any one single religion. We are not Hindus, we are not Buddhists, we are not Christians, we are Sahaja Yogis, which is actually above all the different. So these are like different here, now it's coming up. So that's Sahaja Yoga. So what is practiced in the Indian temple need not be what we are doing in Sahaj. Now that it looks very Hindu because all the chakras are Indian language. Shumadiji is Indian, but she was born, she was born in a Christian family. She was not a Hindu, so we are not practicing Hinduism. Once I saw in Penang, and the kumbha had a string around it, and they put the leaves and the leaf and the coconut and the kumbha. So I said, hey, you all buy the kumbha, you didn't cut away the string. They said, no, Aunty, that one, because Sri Ganesha as a baby ties a string. I said, in Sahaj, did you learn that? Because I never learned that. It says, oh, so and so taught. So it is something that is from Hinduism. It's not Sahaj. Yeah? Any questions?
Aunty, I've got a question. There's actually quite a bit of controversies about, in Malaysia, we know that Muslim is very kind of sensitive, right? So, giving self-realization or giving public programs when actually Muslim attends, what's the do's and don'ts and how we have to go about that?
Yeah, this I also spoke to Shumanji when she came to Malaysia. Like when she's reading newspaper, we're serving Shumanji food and all. So we asked about the Muslim. So she says, leave the Muslims for her to handle through Turkey. And I've seen in Turkey when Shumanji was there, I would say the public program, 95% are Muslims. But the program goes on very well. The Turkish yogis, anyway, generally, the Muslims there are not fanatical like the ones over here. But what we do is, because we also respect what humanity is, Sahaja Yoga is for everyone. So if we have a public program and Muslims come, use their discretion, because some of them, like when I was saying that civic center, they send the religious department send people to come and watch. You can see, they bring newspaper and they're sitting like this. Whereas the ones who come to learn about Sahaja Yoga, look at the body language, that they were keen to learn something. So, main thing is the facilitators must not say anything that will be against them. Never use the word convert. Never. Because they are most afraid of this. And we still give realization to them, to everybody, and it's up to them. And we have Muslims who have taken realization, follow the class, finish, come for our collective, and after that they say, I will now, from now onwards, meditate at home. I do not want to jeopardize Sahaja Yoga. Because they are Muslims, they wear the tudung like that, and they come for our program. They are afraid that it might harm Sahaja Yoga. So always think there are times when religious people come. They come and watch us for a few weeks, until they found that we were teaching people things and it was not against Islam. So that is okay. Because I would not be comfortable to say, you're a Muslim, please leave, it's for non-Muslims. Because last time when Shumanji was coming, or when we were doing program, we wanted to advertise in the newspapers. We go to one newspaper to advertise and say, you must put there for non-Muslims. Thank you very much. We go to another newspaper and we want to advertise. They never say we have to put for non-Muslims only. We advertise them. See? Because Shumanji said it's for everyone. So whoever comes, we accept like this.
So when you actually do like stress management programs in corporate, right, for corporate, through Sahaja Yoga, so how do you actually handle, because it's actually open for everyone, all employees, right?
Yes,
We have
yes.
Muslim employees as well. So how do you handle in a corporate world doing stress management programs?
When we are doing stress management, a lot of times, we do not set up an altar with Shumanji's photo and the oil lamp and the fire and all that. We can bring, because it's under Sahaja Yoga, we can bring a banner. Shumanji's photo is on top, and the bottom is a support system. So Shumanji is there with us. But we just say that Shumanji is the one, the founder of Sahaja Yoga, and she is the one who has taught us how to meditate so that we can manage our stress. And we are willing to share this with you. If they don't like, they will leave. But otherwise, we don't keep repeating Shumanji or tell Shumanji's history and all that. But just say that this is what we learned from her. And then you just carry on.
And if they're interested for classes subsequently?
They will come. They will come. But then you can just do. But I don't know, when people come here for class, what would you do? Would you be still having, last time when we were having in Bangsa, we made Shumanji's sari there very low, and the lotus feet Panuka is underneath. We do not put that. Then we were even questioned, why do you put so high up? I said, out of respect, otherwise children will climb up and sit on a chair. If you put it very much like we are worshipping Shrimati, which we do, but for people who are new, it is difficult. Even for beginning programs, their conditioning will not allow them to accept Sahaj. So same with this stress management, still can do. Because Uncle Ivan and I went, Malaysian Airlines, we went to one of their place to give realization and to do stress management. They were all mixed. It's okay. Yeah. Sorry, Adrian, you wanted to ask something?
Sometimes you can advise them go to the internet now with the technologies. You can learn Sahaja Yoga on the internet. You can follow some website they have teaching.
Yeah, that's
I
okay.
just want to add something. We just talk about stress management. Do you know we have a separate entity of Sahaja Yoga of stress management? It's called CEL, Center of Evolution Learning. It's in US. So Shrimati told some of the yogis from US to start this, and said they already started this, and I think almost like 50 or 60 countries, the US people have trained them to teach Sahaja Yoga especially for corporates. So I'm one of the trained person for CEL. So whenever I go for corporate program, the kind of slides we show is totally different from what we do in the normal classes. It's very scientific, a lot of data are there, a lot of videos are there. It's totally different from what we do. So you can go to the website for cel.org if I'm not wrong. You can get a lot of information from there. It's started by Shrimati asked to start this actually.
Very good. Yeah. Any other questions?
You use a language very correctly teachers. Should we use English or can we use Tamil?
Depends on the collective. If we were in Chennai, I'm sure they will use Tamil. You know, if it's in Russia, they'll be using Russian. And in Italy, except for international pujas, I've been to Rome ashram, and we see that they play Shrimati's talk on the evening like this program. They stop after 2-3 sentences and translate into Italian, like that. So when they are doing a program, frequently they'll be using Italian. And many of them learn English because of Shrimati's tips and talks. So there's nothing wrong to use Tamil if it is mostly Tamil speaking people. But if you have just one Russian or one Chinese or somebody from Kerala, they don't speak Tamil, then it is not. Use a common language. But there is nothing wrong. If it's a small group speaking Tamil, it's not wrong. But just see, use discretion, what is suitable. Yeah? Any other questions? Then I say thank you very much for allowing me to talk so much.